That's how you know it's Tuesday, guys. It's Raiden Tacos. Oh, I think it's my favorite Tuesday song. I can't laugh. I can't lie. It makes me laugh every time. I love it. I can't have a bad Tuesday. I love it. Oh, goodness. Okay, so it's Tuesday. It's Taco About It Tuesday. And I figured first, before we get into today's topic, because we marked my words last week. Mark my words, Dory, mark my words. And we're going to talk about building healthy relationships. How do we do that when we've never had those before? But first, before we get to that, I want to explain to you guys a little bit about Watch Party. Hello, Kathy, Tammy, Terry. It's so awesome to see you. Crystal, my lady. Karen, Dixie, so nice to see you on Instagram. Welcome, welcome. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys a little bit about is Watch Party. Now, I don't know if you noticed or not, Dory has a brand new toy and it's called Facebook Watch Party. I'm in love with it. So I'm figuring out exactly how it works so that I can explain it to you guys really well. But here's the really fun thing about Watch Party is it allows us to join in live and watch things together. So, for example, tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain, we're going to celebrate Alterna Sweets barbecue sauce coming in jugs. Because ladies, oh my goodness, I'm ready to celebrate jugs. Like I'm done. I'm done crying about the jugs. And I'm ready to celebrate that. So tonight, we're going to do a watch party. And I'm going to share with you guys some of my favorite recipes that I've made with Alterna Sweets since I discovered them in June at KetoCon. So that's going to be a super lot of fun. I've set it up as a Facebook event. So if you want the reminder, it'll show up as a Facebook event, but it'll come up on my main page as a watch party. Now, as soon as my phone loads, I'm going to explain to you guys how Watch Party works. Because you can join live, but you can also watch it later on the replay. It keeps all the videos we watched in order. So you scroll through the videos and click on the one you want to watch and it will play it. Here's the other awesome thing about Watch Party. Say, for example, you're like, Dory, I love this watch party. There's so much in here that I want to share with my friends and family. At the bottom of Watch Party, there's a little button that says try it. If you click try it, then you can host that exact same watch party. So it takes all those videos for you, puts them on your page, and now you're the host or hostess of the watch party, and you can invite your friends and family. There's a couple ways to do that. As I've been playing around with Watch Party, I don't know if you guys noticed, I kind of spent my weekend playing Watch Party. I've discovered some of them have an invite button and you can just click right on there and invite people. Some of them don't seem to. What you can do in that case is pop out of your watch party, copy the link, and you can send it as a message to invite people to watch your watch party. Now, for some reason, my old phone doesn't even want to load up Facebook. Doesn't even. So I'll try one more second here and see if that works. If not, we'll start our Talk About It Tuesday and we'll circle back at the end. But I kind of wanted to be able to scroll a watch party and show you guys what it looks like and how it works because it's kind of new, right? Not any of it. No, I won't say not any of us. Dory's been playing with it. But a lot of us don't know all the new features on Facebook when they come out on Facebook. I didn't. I only just discovered it. So I've decided it's brand new information and I'll share it with you guys. Because that's how Dory works. Dory, I just discovered that. That makes it brand new information. Okay, here we go. This is how we go watch party. So let me see. Let me find one here that I made. Okay, so this one is the beginning of when I got on the plane to go to KetoCon. So let me try to angle that so you guys can see. And then I touched something. Of course I would touch something. So smooth. So smooth. Okay, so a watch party comes up like this. See, it says Dory Lynn Marie Sonnenberg hosted a watch party. Okay, I'll turn you guys this way on Instagram. So all you need to do is scroll, and you can click on each of the videos that we watched. So if you want to watch the first one, just touch the actual picture of it itself, and the video will start. You can watch it, you can fast forward it. From there, you can also save videos by clicking on these three dots at the top. So if it's a video that you want to save for your own personal reference, you can copy the link, you can save it as well. And then if you want to host this watch party, let me see, that one doesn't seem to have the try now button. And again, it seems to be one of those, I don't know, Facebook does things and it's weird. When they're live too, you can also share them then. So we're going to do it tonight. We're going to try it out. We'll see. I'm doing it a scheduled time so that hopefully we can get together and hang out and do that. So 6 p.m. Mountain. So today we're going to talk about building healthy relationships. We slightly touched on it last week, and I was like, mark my words, we're going to talk about that again. So I spend most of my morning thinking about where do we start and how do we break it down. Now, I think this is probably going to end up being a 3 or 4 part conversation because this is a big one. But today I want to touch on 4 or 5 key points. And the first thing we're going to touch on is the realization that you deserve better, healthier relationships. A lot of us get into negative, unhealthy relationships because we don't feel worthy of that better. So, point 1, that's the first point we're going to explore today. Then we're going to talk about making a realistic list of the qualities we want in a partner, in a friend, in any relationship we're looking to build. So we're going to talk about being realistic about the things that we want in our lives so that we can find those things, right? If we focus on what we don't want, guess what we always get? Same of the same of the same. Then I want to talk about being authentic, because part of building healthy relationships is being truly yourself. A lot of us, I raise my hand. When I say a lot of us, mostly I just mean me, and I hope you as well. A lot of us spend a lot of time hiding parts of our personalities and trying to be different for other people to fit in, being that square peg in the round hole our whole lives. So being authentic, being who you are, because people can't fall in love with you if they don't actually know who you are, right? So that's the third point that we're going to touch on. And I really want to talk about trusting your intuition, because 9 times out of 10, we saw those flags. We saw those red flags coming, but we ignored them. We did not follow our intuition. So there's a lot of other things we're going to cover on this topic, but for today, I think those 4 main points will get the discussion going. So let's start with, I am worthy of good relationships and good friendships. Good friendships, guys, because if you are like me, and again, I always just hope that you are like me when I say, oh my God, if you're like me. If you're like me, I was never the first choice friend. I'm going to put that out there. I was never the cool girl. I was never the first choice to hang out with, do things with, socialize with. I was the girl that was okay to hang out with when the cool girls were busy, right? Because I was there and I was available, and even if they weren't nice to me on the regular every day, I would still hang out with them. Hello, Miss Tracy. because, what else did I have to do? I was lonely and I didn't have any friends. So I was willing to hang out with people who weren't really my friends, right? So topic one, I guess, is, are your friends really your friends? Are your friends really your friends? Are they supportive? Are they caring? Do they love you? Are they good to you? Are they kind to you? Or are they filler people? And filler people are people who just hang around with you because, they don't really have anything else better to do. And you know what? Maybe you cook, or, maybe you'll watch their kids for free, or, maybe you're the person they call on for a ride every time they need someone to pick them up or drop them off. I mean, maybe you're that emergency person who's, not really good enough to hang out with, but, when something arises where they need some help, they're certainly willing to call on you. So I think the first thing we need to do is we need to really honestly sit down with our relationship list and decide, are these people who are constructive in our lives? Yes or no? Are our friends constructive? Are they destructive? Are they mean to us in our relationships? There are certain things we can fix and certain things we need to let go of. So I think step one is examining each of your relationships and deciding, is this repairable or is this outdated? Is this a person I've outgrown? So those are all personal choices. And when I sat down with my list, I'll be honest, not a lot of people stayed. Not a lot of people made the cut. And I'm going to say that you have to be selective, and there comes a point in our lives where we have to just say, you know what? I don't have time. I don't have time for people in my life who don't treat me well. Bottom line. If you would like to be part of my life, then I invite you to treat me well. And I know that sounds stupid to say out loud, but try it just one time. Try it just one time and say it out loud. I don't have time in my life for people who don't treat me well. If you would like to be in my life, I invite you to treat me well. And see how awesome it feels. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous. And even when I say it out loud, the words sound kind of funny, but it feels really good to say it out loud. Like, just to say out loud, I don't have time in my life for people who are unkind to me. I don't have time. And really, how can anybody argue that? Like, I know that's what we always fear, right? When we sit down to have that conversation with somebody, be it friend, be it lover, be it family member, when we sit down to have that ever dreaded, this isn't working for me conversation, I think we need to have a talk. This here is not working for me. So we always dread that conversation because we don't know what the outcome will be, right? Will it be good? Will it be bad? Will it be otherwise? But I can promise you this. If you never have that conversation, you know exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be the relationship you don't want, right? 110%. It's going to continue being the relationship that's not working for you. And we can either discuss these things, work them out, and figure out how to make relationships more functional, or we can leave outdated relationships and find new ones, right? But new relationships are still going to bring all of these same issues. If we don't learn how to set our boundaries, select our qualities, be authentic, trust our intuition, then we're just going to repeat the same poor relationships over and over again. Hands up if you guys have done that. Have you broken up with one loser to, I swear to God, date his twin brother? Like, they look nothing alike, but I swear those boys are twins. Like, twins. Lois says, if you can count your best friends on one hand, you are lucky. She has 4 besties. I'm so proud of you. That is awesome. Crystal Hastings says, yes. Yes. Cindy says, my husband is my best friend. We've known each other since the 6th grade and we've been married for 43 years. And that's amazing. And you know what? I bet that you have sat down to have that conversation with your husband many times over the last 43 years. Because it's that conversation that makes the difference between repairing and breaking down a relationship. Because when you get to the point where you can't take it, and it doesn't matter, is it your best friend? Is it your husband? Is it your mother-in-law? Is it your next door neighbor? It doesn't matter. But when you get to the point where you're no longer willing to discuss that relationship, then you know what? Maybe move on and find something more productive. But if it's a relationship you care about and you want to repair it, then there are ways to do that. But it is all of those points again. It's first accepting that you're worthy. I am worthy of a man who values fidelity. I am worthy of friends who value my time. I am worthy of friends who appreciate my spirit. These are all things that we are worthy of. And until we start saying it out loud, and again, it sounds weird, do it in the bathroom when nobody's looking. But once you start saying it out loud, that's when you believe it, right? When people say bad things about us, it's really easy to believe them. Somebody said it out loud. So be somebody and say it out loud. Look at yourself in the mirror every single day, if you have to, and say, I am worthy of good relationships. I'm worthy of healthy relationships. And point 2, when we're making our list of things that we're looking for, there's a reason why that's important. Number 1, if you aren't focused on anything, you don't get anything, right? If you walk into the grocery store and you don't have a list, you're going to wander through the grocery store and you may or may not buy the things you want. You may or may not get distracted in the aisles. If you're me, you may or may not spend triple what you planned on spending. Because you don't have a plan. You don't have a list, right? You don't have a checklist to say, I want this, I bought this. I want this, I bought this. Oh, I wanted that, but they didn't have it today. Oh, I guess we're going to have to go without that on the list. Martin wants to know, are we going to cover the flip side? You can't be the good friend all the time until you accept yourself. Yes, we are going to talk about that as well. Because you know what? You're not being a good friend to anybody by being their doormat. You're not. You are enabling your friends to be bad people. And I know that's terrible. I had the shittiest best friend ever. And I enabled her to be bad to me for years. Like 13 years, she was my best friend. And we were never equal 50-50 friendship. It was never like that because I, again, never truly felt worthy of legitimate friendship. So I accepted in our friendship that she gave 30% and I gave 70%. And it just became our expected norm. And that's how it was. And it was like that in every sense. Like if we were sharing a hamburger, she had to have the bigger half. If you were splitting a chocolate bar, she was mad if she didn't get the bigger half. So we really need to spend a little bit of time thinking about who splits half and half with us and who doesn't feel like they got their share if they didn't get the bigger half. Because we all have those people in our lives too, right? And we give them the bigger half. We do, because we think, you know what, that's easy. It's not that big of a deal. I don't really care. And it starts out with small things and it bleeds into everything. Like, for example, when we played card games, I would try to be mindful that I didn't win too many times. Because if she lost too many times in a row, she would get mad and then she wouldn't want to play the card game or the board game or whatever. And for me, I was like, well, I don't really play to win. I play to play. So I don't really care if I lose. So I would go out of my way to lose to make her happy. Is that fair? Was I doing her any service? Was I teaching her how to be a better human being? No. I just was... I just was letting her be a bag, and I was okay with it. It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me. But you know what? It bothered other people. And other people would say, wow, your best friend's a bag. And I'd be like, she did like that. Like, she didn't like that. It's okay. I love her anyways. Right? Jody says, exactly. Deanna says, I'm late, but I'm here. Yes. Rita says, are you doing tacos today, my friend? You know what? I might do tacos today. I'm not sure. I actually picked up some cheapo garbage pizza shells for my family and some pepperoni. So I was going to do lazy pizza tonight, and I was thinking about making myself a fathead dough pizza. I actually haven't had fathead dough pizza in a long time. I usually go lazy style and just do cheese or meat crust because I'm lazy. But I got farm fresh eggs. I got fresh cheese. I'm debating making myself some pizza tonight. I'm thinking about it. But I could use those same shells to do tacos. I don't know. I don't know. I do love Taco Tuesday, though. I do. I'm more of a fan of taco flavored things as opposed to tacos themselves, though. Like, I love a taco egg bowl, or I love a taco salad, or I love cheese chips with a taco dip and stuff like that. I think partly I never really loved the shells from tacos originally, and also the lettuce. Depending on the lettuce, sometimes it bothers my stomach. So, not always. Okay, so we covered knowing that you deserve a relationship that is good for you and how you go about doing that. You just say it over and over again. We talked about making our list. Now, before we go off that topic, I want to say don't focus on the negative. Please don't focus on the negative. Please don't take out your list and write down things like, I want a man who doesn't cheat on me. Okay, that's awesome. That is a great goal. It is a fantastic goal. But guess what? As soon as you say out loud, I want a man who doesn't cheat on me, our brain in this weird way focuses on the in-between words. And guess what you'll find? A man who cheats on you. I know it sounds stupid and crazy, but instead, write this on your list. I want a man who values fidelity. I want a man who values fidelity. Then you're looking at the positive side and drawing positive emotions and positive people to you. How many times have you seen a dating site and some girl has posted, girl, I ain't having no more cheaters. Don't even message me if you're a cheater. And immediately you get a negative feeling from that profile. It's very poor me, feel sad for me. I've been through bad things. I'm still broken. And it literally says, hi, I'm still broken. Don't waste your time dating me. I'm broken. And I know it's not meant to be that way. It comes from the point of frustration where you're like, dude, seriously, if one more guy cheats on me, I'm going to Lorena Bobbitt. Like, bob it. But we are like Southern style girls, and we get us a meat grinder because ain't nobody putting that back on. So I get it. I get being at that point. But when you put that out to the universe, then you bring that back. As crazy as it sounds, your mind doesn't hear the negative. Your mind doesn't hear, I don't want a man that cheats on me. Your brain literally hears, I want a man that cheats on me. Because your brain doesn't understand negative tense. There is science behind it, guys. And one day I'll find somebody to talk to us about the science behind that. But this is one thing that I know is true. Your brain does not understand negatives. So if you say to yourself, I don't look fat today, your brain hears, I look fat today. So instead of saying, I don't look fat today, say, wow, I look really thin today. Our brain understands positive more than it understands negative. So when we write our list, always make sure that we are seeking out the positive qualities that we want. So for example, I want a friend who understands my sense of humor not I don't want a friend who makes fun of my jokes, right? Focus on the positive. So once we've got our list of things that we're looking for, then all of a sudden we're not running around the grocery store starving and just looking for things. Then when we meet somebody new, or when we're going through our relationship checklist, the same as we would at the grocery store. Okay, I really like this. I like this quality, that ticks off. I can tick off this quality. Then you can go through your list and say, okay, well, you know what? He's funny. He seems to have a good sense of fidelity, but he's boring, right? So you can check down your list and see some things are deal breakers. Some things are gimmies. The same as with our friends. And you might even discover a few qualities you didn't know you were looking for when you sit down to make your list. So I encourage you to make the list. Then the next thing that we're going to talk about today is being authentic, because it's hard. It is hard. We're all scared to be ourselves. It's not just you. It's not just me. Every time we get out there and we try to be ourselves, we're scared that somebody is going to say all the things that we say in our head, right? What are all the horrible things that we say out loud in our head, and we're afraid that people are going to say them? Because guess what? We have people in our lives who say those things, and they call themselves our friends and our family and our lovers sometimes, and they say terrible things. Joelle says, my Chinese friend says she'll chop, chop, stir fry, and throw that to the chickens. Yes, girl. Yes. And I understand, because it is frustrating. And this is off topic, absolutely off topic. But I want to point out for a moment that if someone is unfaithful to you, it really doesn't have anything to do with you. It doesn't. It doesn't have to do with, am I attractive? Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Am I good enough in bed? It has nothing to do with any of those things. Infidelity has to do with self-esteem. If somebody cheats on you, it's because they don't feel good enough about themselves. They need to go out and get validation from people other than you. It took me years and years and years and years and years of being cheated on to realize it didn't actually have anything to do with me. It had nothing to do with me. You could be getting it at home 3 times a day. It doesn't mean you're not going to cheat if there's something missing. So, if someone has been unfaithful to you, I want you to remember and realize that does not correlate to your value. It has nothing to do with the person that you are. It is their issue. So don't own somebody else's infidelity. Don't wander around thinking, you know what, I'm not good enough because my boyfriend cheated on me, or I'm not good enough because my husband left me for somebody else. It doesn't have anything to do with you, I promise. It might take you 20 years to figure it out, but I swear it has like this much to do with you, like nothing. Martin says, as a guy, please give us a non-Jason Statham looking guys a chance. Yeah, you might find you're loyal and attentive, and that's true. You know what? Not everybody comes in the package that we want. And you know what? How many years did we go through that? How many times did someone say to you, I think you're really great, I enjoy your personality, but you're just too fat? And how insulting was that, right? Yes, physical attraction comes into play in any relationship. I'm not going to lie. You cannot have a substantial long-term relationship with somebody that you're not attracted to. But attraction comes in many forms other than physical attraction. I won't lie, guys, not every guy I've dated has been a hottie. They're not all hotties. Most of them are, I can't lie. I like the pretty boys. But they're not all. They're not all. I wasn't always attracted to a man because of what he looked like. A lot of times it was his personality. And I won't lie, when my son was young, I got roped into that, look what a great guy I am, I'm being so nice to your kid spiel a lot. Now, guys, don't ever pull that. It's so lame. Like, it's so lame. I hate it so much. But when my son was really small and before I understood that there was a lot of skeezy guys in the world who just felt like that was a really awesome in for them, I can be nice to your kid. But be open to the possibilities. The same as you want someone to be open to the possibilities about you, right? And none of us are supermodels. Ain't none of us getting any younger. let's be honest about that for 2 seconds. And I will say that my taste in men has varied from one end to the other. Like, I've dated everything from my my long-term ex was 5'2", 125 pounds, bald with goatee. I've dated guys who were 6'7", stocky football player guys. My current guy is about average height, 5'10", 170, but he's a long hair and he's blonde and he's blue-eyed. And I've never dated one of those before. So, the same as we're coming into our new personalities, be open to the people around you and, get to know them a little bit better. We can't, again, form relationships without A, being authentic, and B, allowing other people to be authentic around us. And we do that by being who we are. As soon as somebody says, oh my God, she is so herself, then they're like, oh, I can do that too. I can be myself around her. And that's an amazing feeling. Patty says, I was not the least bit attracted to my husband when I first met him. And then I got to know him and that all changed. And I've heard many marriages that started that way. I was actually thinking about that when I was soaking in the tub. My high school boyfriend, his mother is a couple of years older than his father. And when she met him, he was a skinny, scrawny little kid off to the army. And 2 years later, they met again, and she was like, wow, he hates him. And he'd been writing her love letters for 2 years. How do you not fall in love with somebody who writes you love letters for 2 years? Oh, Martin says you can tell. Kids have a fifth sense about guys. They do. They do. The same as dogs. If your kid does not like a man, I don't care how nice he seems, you write his ass off right now. Right now. I am sorry. If your dog or your cat or your kids don't like somebody, there is a reason for that. Trust it. Yes. Once you get to know someone's spirit, that is honestly the most beautiful part. Yes, run. My God, run for your life if your kids don't like somebody. Now, I mean, some kids go through an awkward phase too where they just don't like anybody. So, I mean, bear that in mind. You know your kids better than anybody. But I'll tell you what. So, let's roll that right into trusting your intuition. Because you know what? When I look back, every time, guys, every single bloody time I thought something was up, it was up. It was up. I wasn't wrong. I got that sick feeling in the pit of my stomach. I felt like something was going on that shouldn't be, but I couldn't prove it because, I fell into in the face of no concrete proof. You must take someone's word for that, right? But it was there. It was always there. I always knew. If I had a friend who stabbed me in the back, guess what? I always saw that coming. I could always sense that's the way it was going. You can feel when your relationships are starting to break down and fall apart. And I think a lot of those times we just don't want to listen to those messages. So we know that they're there, but we want to bury that and be like, no, it's all good. It's all good. Everything is all good. Around here, everything's all good. Patty says, my kid has special needs and he knows a bad egg. Oh, yes, they do. I don't know. Some of you guys know this about me. Some of you don't. What I do for work is I take care of my special needs brother. I call him my brother. He's not actually related to me. But he's been with my family since I was 10. So yes, he has a very good sense of people. If Jacob doesn't like a people, they are not a good people. They're just not a good people. And Not everybody's good people. And in my old life, I was a puppy dog collector. I was a broken soul collector. I was a I could fix it collector. I could fix my friends. I could help them. They had, shitty, hard lives, and, I could make it better and I could fix them. And I was constantly collecting people who required repair, right? Because these are the things that we do because we're broken. Like, I was so busy trying to help other people be fixed that I wasn't focused on fixing myself and finding relationships with people who weren't quite so broken. Because there's something to be said for misery loves company, right? There's something to be said for that. Back when I was at my top weight and I was miserable and I was in a shitty relationship and I was sick all of the time, guess what all of my friends were? They were fat and they were sick and they were miserable and they were in shitty relationships. And we commiserated that together beautifully like an orchestra. Like, oh, you could sit back and hear the beautiful music of, oh, you think that's bad? Wait until you hear what happened to me today. How many times? How many times have you had that conversation where something negative happens and you feel the need to share that? So you phone one of your friends and you vent it off. Oh my God, I can't, you will not believe what this woman in the grocery store did. She gave me the dirtiest look. It was terrible. I can't believe it happened. But then you get off the phone and you still don't feel satisfied. So you need to phone another person and bitch about what happened to you today, and another person and another person and another person. And you end up falling into that rhythm of the same thing. You're always focused on negative. So guess what you're always going to get? You wake up in the morning thinking, oh, great. Another day. Awesome. I wonder what's going to happen to me today. Yesterday was so peachy. Let's see what today brings. And you don't mean to be negative. You don't mean to be drawing negative vibes towards you, but that is what you're doing. Honestly, it is. You draw the negative to you by focusing on the negative parts of your life. And it's hard for any of us not to do that. Like, when something happens and somebody ticks you off, oh my God, look out. Look out. And there's a difference between getting it out, venting it out, and living there. Okay? So this is the distinction I want to make. It is totally okay to call your girlfriend and go, oh my God, you are not going to believe what happened to me today, dude. You're not going to believe this. And it's something else to unpack your bags and live there. Live in the moment where something bad happened, or, so-and-so said this crummy thing to you, or, pick a number. Any of those things that we let get stuck all over us. And it's like, let me think if I can think of a visual. Here's a good visual. Think about a snowball rolling down the hill. And when it starts, it's about the size of a quarter. But as it rolls down, it picks up snow and it picks up steam. It gets bigger, it gets faster. And our own mindset is like that too. If we start in the morning and we feed our brain the seed of positive thought, and your first thought in the day is, wow, you know what? I'm going to have a great day. I feel fabulous. I'm beautiful today. I'm worthy of great relationships, and I'm going to have a fantastic day. Guess what? You leave your house in a positive mood, and that feeling starts to build. It starts to roll. You get to work, and because you're in such a good mood, you chat with the girl you wouldn't normally, because, she's kind of a bag. But you're feeling in a good mood, so you chat with her. And then guess what? You've started her day off in a good day. And it starts to roll, and it starts to build. And we get to choose what seeds of thought we feed our brain every day. Every day you get to make that choice, and every moment you get to make that choice. Now, we have all caught ourselves having negative thoughts. That one I know for sure is not just me. That one I know for sure. You have caught yourself in the middle of a negative thought. And in that moment, that is the moment where you say, no, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. That is not true. I don't believe it. And I'm going to stop saying it over and over and over again in my head. Because little positive thoughts build big positive movements in our lives every day. So we have about 10 minutes left. I'm going to scroll, hello, Miss Nanette, and see if you guys have any questions. And then I'm going to see if I can get my old phone up and we can talk a little bit more about the watch party we're going to have tonight and some of the upcoming watch parties we're going to do. Now, I know a lot of us are not really, I don't really want to use the word struggling, and I don't even really want to use the word stalled. But once you've been keto for a while, you kind of get into that rut where you're like, I'm doing the same thing. And you almost kind of forget what you were doing in the beginning. So over the next few weeks in Nancy's group, which is Keto for Real Life People, once a week on Monday, we're going to do 3 weeks at a time. So in Nancy's group, each week is separated. So week 1 is one post unto itself. Everything everybody talked about in week 1, the week 1 wrap-up video, all the questions. So once a week, we're going to go through and we're going to watch the end week recap because it helps us stay fresh and remember, because it's easy to forget what we thought was hard and what our sticking points were way back when. And I think sometimes when you get stuck, the best thing you can do is to go all the way back to the beginning and just start from the basics and remember all the things that you forget along the way. So we're going to have a lot of fun over the next couple weeks doing that as well. I just know it. I'm loving the watch party. And I know once you guys figure it out, you're really going to enjoy it as well. Because here's the thing. When you're live, like right now, we're interactive. And you get that feeling of you are watching me right now. I am here. I am looking at your questions. I'm available to answer. And that's an amazing feeling. I get to see your questions. We get to chat. It's interactive that way. That's the beauty of live. But then guess what? If you miss the live and you're watching it on the replay, you don't quite get that same feeling. It's ish, right? You feel like you're there-ish. You're there-ish, but you're not actually there. I can't see your comments. I can't answer. So yeah, you're watching when other people watched it live, but you're not there. So here's the beauty of Watch Party. The video we're watching is an old rerun, but I'm still right there. We can talk. You can ask your questions. If it's a recipe, you can say, hey, Dory, how did you do this? How did you do that? If it's a Q&A with Dr. Ken, you can say, oh my goodness, did we get to that question? We can recover questions. We can revisit some of the things that we were discussing then. And it gives me an opportunity to sit down with you guys and chat about it. And for me, that's the most fun because I'm always on this side where until I'm done, I can't comment. I can't partake. I can't be part of that conversation. I can't be typing and LOLing and hearting with you guys. LOLing. Isn't it smooth when I do that? Just saying. I'm so millennial. And Watch Party allows us to be doing that together at the same time. And I'm super, super excited. Super excited for that. Okay, so let's see. Cindy says it's a lot of work and we've been going through a lot, but we do it together. And that's the basis of any good, strong, healthy relationship. No one who has been in a good long-term relationship is going to say it was easy. I guarantee you not. If they say it was easy, they're lying. There is no long-term relationship that is easy. Relationships are work. It's a constant give and take and adjustment, and your relationships will always change as your dynamic changes, as you grow, as you become a different person. Now, I just had a thought in my head of like the master of disguise, become a different person. I don't know why, but I am the master of disguise, become another person. And I just had that thought. But truthfully, we are becoming somebody new. We're growing into healthier, stronger, more self-sustaining people. I know I'm not the only one who wasn't as strong before as I am now. Okay, so let's see. All of those options. Oh, we're talking about food. Somehow I missed a food question. I know. Oh, tacos. Oh, we're talking about chorizo. Oh my God, yes, chorizo. I love chorizo. Chorizo and eggs are a good sub for tacos, but watch out the burning ring in the morning. Yes. Oh, my guy loves this spicy food that day. And the next day he's like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yes, Rita. Do not be negative Nancy. Okay, so here's a question. Who wants to be friends with negative Nancy? Who wants to date negative Nancy? Who wants to be negative Nancy's child, right? Nobody wants to be around negative Nancy. And it's okay to have negative thoughts. It's okay to accept that negative things have happened in your life. But again, just don't unpack your bags and live there. I know people who had a tragedy in their life and they never got past that. They never outgrew it. And then that tragedy becomes who you are for the rest of your life. And none of us wants to be a tragedy. We want to be a comedy or a romance. I don't want to be a romantic comedy that's a musical. Hands up if you want to be a romantic comedy that's a musical. Oh my goodness. Patty says the shell is not as important as the spirit living in there, and the internal beauty shines. And that is so true. So true. Like a million times true. And you know what? How many times have you met somebody like that wasn't physically attractive, but they were just so beautiful? Like their spirit was so beautiful. They were so kind. They were so generous. And you could just see that love for all people through them. You know, we're not all what we are on the outside. We are not all what we are on the outside. Deanna says there's a blessing in every day, no matter what kind of day you're having. And yes, girl. Like, even in the most miserable day, there is something in there that you can focus on and say, you know what? This was a really challenging day, but, you know what? I had a really bad day. My car broke down and I had a flat tire, but I was very fortunate and someone stopped on the side of the road to help me. So you could focus on, you know, being helpful instead of being negative. Okay. Martin says, is a watch party live or not? Okay. So the videos themselves are not live. So for example, I made a watch party that was some of our KetoCon 2018. So it was a collection of some of the things we did at KetoCon. So the videos themselves are not live. But if you're watching the watch party live, everyone in there is watching it together at the same time and they can comment. If you miss it on the live, then you're the only one watching the videos. You can still write your comments in the comments. And then if you want to host that watch party, click try it, and then it will allow you to host that on your page. So then you can invite your friends and family to watch that watch party. And we've done everything from keto stuff to non-keto stuff. We've done some ladies' movie nights. Oh my goodness, Crystal, how much fun was that? Like, oh my God. We watched Bedazzled. We watched The Princess Bride. We watched Pretty Woman. We had so much fun. And it was amazing to just hang out with you guys and chit chat. And I do have to tell you, Crystal, I looked from when we watched Pretty Woman and Princess Bride, just from our chatting, there's like 397 comments. And that was the best part. And guess what? There was nobody there to say, shh, don't talk during the movie. Shh, pay attention. Because we were just typing to each other. Oh, and we were laughing. And it was an absolute blast. You should have seen my guy roll his eyes at me the next day. I was like, oh, I watched movies with my friends. And he was like, And I said, what was I supposed to do? You were gone. You were at work. Isaac was gone. I was just watching movies. And he goes, yeah, you're supposed to watch them by yourself. Why would I watch it by myself? Seriously, why? Why would I sit at home all by myself and watch a cheesy, girly movie when I can watch that with my friends? Why would I even do that by myself? There was nobody to laugh with me and giggle if I did it by myself. Whoever has fun by theirself. Hermits. That's who does. That's why my guy says it. He's a hermit. He's all like, be by yourself. Love your own company. Don't talk so much. I say a lot of words for him. He's a very quiet guy, and he's like, wow, you just say a lot of words. You know, I'm not saying you talk too much. I'm just saying you say a lot of words. Lots. I always have so many things to say, and it's so smooth. Like, I won't lie, here we are. We're coming up on 1 hour. It's time to wrap up. And I planned this much of what I was going to say, and all of a sudden an hour is gone. So I hope we touched on all the points. I think we covered everything I wanted to today. So I will see you guys at 6 p.m. Mountain, and we are going to do our Alterna Sweets party, and I have named it. You guys are going to laugh. Alterna Sweets Creations. Let's celebrate jugs for once. Because, oh man, I am so tired of crying over my jugs. I'm ready to have some jugs to celebrate. So we're going to celebrate Alterna Sweets do giant barbecue sauce jugs. And we're going to see my favorite Alterna Sweets recipes. So let me get our dancing out song on. And I will see you guys in just a few hours. I'm so excited to hang out with you. And if this is your first watch party, I'm excited to have you guys join us. And Crystal, our veteran, will tell you how awesome fun the watch parties are, because I want to celebrate jugs. And I can't. There's no way I'm the only one who wants to celebrate jugs. So, no more crying over our jugs. And we're going to celebrate big jugs of barbecue sauce. Let's get our 2 times speed, because now that I know 2 times, oh, 1 time just seems too slow. It just makes me sad. I don't even know what to tell you. I'm too hyper for sound level 1. Tacos. And here we go. Speed 2. See you later, guys. All you can eat.